Most people imagine the Great Pacific Garbage Patch as a giant, floating island of rubbish. A solid mass of plastic drifting somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. You've probably even heard that you can see it from space. But what you've been told is almost entirely wrong. What's actually there is far worse. 1.8 trillion pieces of plastic, weighing 100,000 tons, dispersed across 1.6 million square kilometers of open ocean. An area about 3 times the size of France. And the issue is, it's not a solid mass that you can locate and remove. Much of it is barely visible from the deck of a boat. It's scattered across the open ocean with no fixed borders and no straightforward way to clean it. Essentially, it's a plastic soup. Even with modern cleanup methods, like those deployed by the Ocean Cleanup, they simply can't remove plastic faster than the rate that it enters the ocean. This is why the Great Pacific Garbage Patch can never truly be cleaned from the ocean, and why the solution doesn't involve the ocean at all. The most comprehensive survey of the garbage patch ever conducted was carried out by the Ocean Cleanup. They deployed 30 boats, 652 surface nets, and 2 aircraft simultaneously. What they found was considerably worse than anyone expected. The total mass of plastic in the patch had been underestimated by a factor of between 4 and 16, 100,000 tons. But what makes the Great Pacific Garbage Patch so uniquely difficult to address is the fact it's not a solid mass. It's a concentration zone of microplastics, fragments smaller than a grain of rice, suspended through the upper layer of the ocean, largely invisible from the surface. And those fragments are still breaking down under the effects of sunlight and wave action into pieces so small they are absorbed into the tissue of the fish that encounter them, and eventually into us. When scientists conducted large-scale surveys of the hard plastic recovered from the patch, specifically pieces larger than 5 centimeters, they found that between 75 and 86% of it, by mass, came from the fishing industry. Abandoned nets, lost ropes, buoys, and crates. Not the plastic bottles and packaging most people imagine, but fishing gear. And the biggest contributors are Japan and China, who account for about 33% each, South Korea about 15%, and the United States about 5%. Part of the reason Japan's figure is so high is the 2011 earthquake and the tsunami that followed swept an enormous quantity of coastal debris directly into the Pacific. A single event contributing to a problem that had been accumulating for decades. The Ocean Cleanup, the most ambitious attempt ever made, has now removed around 50 million kilograms of plastic from the ocean. By any measure, that is a remarkable achievement, but the issue is, every single minute, more than 3,300 kilograms of new plastic enters the ocean. So that means by the time you finish this video, more than 33,000 kilograms of plastic will have entered the ocean. That's about the same weight as 5 double-decker buses, or if each empty bottle weighed 10 grams, it would be the equivalent of 3.3 million plastic bottles entering the ocean in 10 minutes. The debris is dispersed across 1.6 million square kilometers of remote water, increasingly broken into fragments too small for any barrier system to catch. Even the most advanced technology currently deployed is collecting less than the ocean is receiving, and that gap is widening. Cleaning the Great Pacific Garbage Patch from the sea is, in effect, attempting to empty a bathtub while the tap is running at full pressure. And before any real progress can be made, somebody needs to turn the tap off. Just quickly, if you're enjoying this video so far, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the like and subscribe button. It really helps me out. But anyway, where is that tap? The majority of plastic that enters the ocean Not just the garbage patch, but the ocean as a whole comes from land, specifically from rivers. Between 1.15 and 2.41 million tons of plastic enters the sea from rivers every year. That's approximately 4.7 million kilograms every single day, funneled from cities, towns, and rural communities through the waterways that drain them. In cities like Mumbai, one of the fastest growing urban centres on Earth, and home to more than 20 million people, this problem is huge. Mumbai sits just above sea level, so to prevent flooding, it's threaded with storm drains, dozens of channels running through its most densely populated areas, designed to carry water away when the monsoon season arrives. But they carry everything else too. Plastic that isn't collected, whether it's swept from a pavement, blown from an overflowing bin, or dumped near a drain, enters those channels. And those channels lead directly to the sea. If nothing changes, ocean plastic pollution is projected to quadruple by 2050. The only benefit of it starting on land is that it can be intercepted before it reaches the ocean. And that's where my friends at Planet Wild come in. Planet Wild is crowdfunding, but for nature. And it has a growing community of over 22,000 nature enthusiasts funding real, on-the-ground conservation missions around the world. One of those missions was in Mumbai, tackling this exact problem. They partnered with Plastic Fisher to stop the plastic from reaching the ocean. They funded barriers called trash booms. Essentially, they are floating barriers with a net skirt installed directly across Mumbai's storm drains. They intercept drifting plastic waste before it can reach the sea. It requires no heavy machinery to install, which means it can be deployed anywhere, from a tiny village stream to a 42-meter storm drain in one of the world's largest cities. Fish and other aquatic life can still pass freely underneath. According to Planet Wild, the Plastic Fisher project has already prevented 2.5 million kilograms of plastic from reaching the ocean. Whether it's saving endangered species, restoring forests, or stopping plastic pollution, Planet Wild is huge on transparency, and they document all of their work in monthly videos right here on YouTube. The community gets to see real, visual evidence of what their contributions achieve on the ground. For their membership, you can give whatever you can. No amount is too small. You can start for as little as the price of a sandwich, because every single dollar counts in protecting nature. I've personally been a member for over half a year now, as it feels like you're actually making a difference. And it gets better than that. The first 100 people to sign up using my code EXPLAINED4, which you can either find the link to in the description or scan this QR code, will get their first month paid for by me. There's no catch, and you can cancel easily at any time. Even if we stopped every new piece of plastic today, the garbage patch would still take decades to shrink. The microplastics already there will persist for centuries. But the rate at which it grows is not fixed. It's the product of decisions by industries, by governments, and by all of us through what we choose to support. And while changing global policy can feel distant, backing community-driven efforts like those of Planet Wild or the Ocean Cleanup is something anybody watching this video can do right now, helping to create real, measurable protection for a future that is still ours to shape. On screen now or in the description, you can find Planet Wild's mission in Mumbai, or there's also a different video of mine if you have time for another.